for your patience. Game number 1 here for our quads takeover, and we talked about some familiar faces, Dia, and we get to tune in with Clara's first team.
Okay, and we were wondering about compositions. We've gone 1 controller, 1 support, and oh no, other side of the map, we've got Greek going down. It's not looking too good as Miss Squirtle's gonna follow, and it is all just down to 1 lonely Caustic. Let's see what they can do. Sliding up at the top of the barrels with the Prowler in hand. Ferro Fluid is everywhere, and Team Imperial Hal goes down.
Hold on, Samurai was out here cooking though. Look at that, it looked like he got 4 knocks in general. Lovely follow-up here for Stay Naughty's team. Samurai coming in clutch. And you talked about different legend comps as we say goodbye to our first squad in this lobby. Hasta la vista to Imperial House team. For now, they'll be able to bounce back in game number 2. But this is a great loot spot here on Kings Canyon. You get to get the bunker on one side before you drop down and plan out your rotate from this north side of Kings Canyon.
And being able to land at Crash Site and, like you say, have that flexibility is made even better by the fact that in this case, Crash Site has spawned with double beacon. That's something that Team Trevstax was actually looking forward at. You're seeing Trevstax run back just now, and wanting to go for the next ring scan, maybe for a survey beacon, does get stifled by the fact that Team Imperial Hal was taken out so quickly. That's our first squad down. And Vicky, they're not coming back. This isn't like the solos tournament where you've got respawn tokens.
Yep, exactly. It's very unfortunate here, but that's what's going to happen when you see more of these teams try to contest you, especially on Kings Canyon. Remember what we were talking about before? No POI draft here. It's no man's land. You can expect more of these things happening as we progress through this Quads Takeover event. And we got another fight here on the other side of Kings Canyon, on the outskirts here of Relic.
With a little bit of high ground, Leo the Lions leading the charge. We've got one of our first seers of the lobby, a Prizzy, rocking that. Team Hambino has plenty of attachments to work through, and it's nice to see that Bangalore is still being used really effectively, or at least used at all. I guess we'll note the effectiveness later, depending on what Hambino can make happen.
I'm not too surprised on that here, too, especially since I feel like the changes that we witnessed with Bloodhound, and that goes back hand in hand with the theory crafting that we were trying to proceed here, with the changes, force a lot more of these fights to be more close range, or if you so want to respect what you see in front of you, give you that space, and then try to prioritize either repositioning or just prioritize approach here from Caution. Being on the fuse, love to see the different type of approach that they want to go in with this legend comp, as well as Trevstax with the charge rifle, gonna be able to get a knock in the feed, but they're coming close on top of another team, because this circle is gonna be pulling on the outskirts of Repulsor.
Grandma Forfeit taking a reset up on high ground. Looks like on the other side of this, we've actually got resets going off, so this should be a 3v3 that has just recovered to a 4v4. Everybody resetting right now, and some nice nades being thrown in by Bullet just to make sure that there's not really a chance to heal up to full without any pressure on them. Grandma Forfeit still holding it down inside, however, and we've got reps in there assisting. Playing very carefully, our team Trevstax. You don't want to get sniped from a bar. Trev knows how devastating that can be.
And that's the respect that the Seer ult gives. We've seen it before time and time again, but there you have it, where the Seer ult comes out and now forces everybody to not only respect that space, but also play a lot scattered. Dia, you mentioned it in the pre-show, where you have to make sure that these comms are clean, but when you have a support legend, at least you could preemptively pre-plan where these replicators are, so that way you could try to get a res.
Credit to Team Trevstax. As soon as they lose one, they realize they're on the bad end of a fight, they do back off, and like you say, move towards the crafter. You do want to try and extend your longevity for as long as possible. You don't have to win every single fight as it happens. Good restraint, and now good zone prioritization. In the southeastern corner of the map, Team It's Timmy has managed to coordinate their move to a very nice spot in zone. They've got height, they've got cover from the rest of the map, they've now even got lifeline care packages being dropped in. This is great, Vicky.
I mean, they even got the zipline set up here too. They're controlling so much space with this comp, actually. You also have some makeshift cover with the lifeline care packages. We saw that Timmy, actually, that triple take that he had was a blue weapon. We highlighted the different types of weapons that you could find, and an EMP goes out, trying to find where that crypto drone is, right above them, but that's even more information for all the teams that are now circling into that, where they predict the final circle is going to be pulling.
Team Trevstacks rotated right into a fight, but this time it's a 3v4. They weren't able to get everyone back up in time. Please revive me goes down, however, and suddenly the name becomes a reality. Team Awope does have very little HP to work with, and this tree is not providing a whole lot of cover. There goes another. Awope is dropping members, and remember, this is in a 3v4. Trevstacks putting in work, finding a knock on Nia.
And that was all thanks to Bullet being the entry fragger, being on that Pathfinder, grappling in and isolating. Please revive me the lifeline that they needed to be the anchor. Not the first one knocked, but rather the last. But let's see if they could get this reset even without the catalyst wall ready to go.
Trying to revive a lifeline, really difficult. You've got some good zoning thrown out here from the Ferrofluid. Awope has done really well so far. Trevstacks testing the entry right now. Does take a nice swing using this rock as cover, waiting for the rest of the squad to show up. And it should be a full thirst on one, make it 2 members as Awope goes down. But this is not a clean fight. Somebody has gotten out, and that means that everyone can come back in, Vicky.
And this is the pacing of these fights that we were talking about. It's completely changed, but it makes it even easier to just sneak on by and see if you could reposition and then get a res using a replicator to get those banners first. And it does look like Asian Boy was able to do just that before he rotates from the north side of that circle.
Honestly, really working well, and credit to Bullet, Trev, and Chrono for taking that in a 3v4 fashion. So impressive that they're able to navigate things, engagements like that in the open ground. But rotating now through Market, I am hoping they'll be able to hit not just the ring console, but the survey beacon, and take a look at how everyone's positioned in the southeastern side. Because height is going to be so important in rings like this. Controlling the high ground in Repulsor, as well as over by Map Room, and even this extension that we've got, where Euris is currently sat, can be game-winning.
Man, so much space, too, to coexist in a circle like this, while the squads huddled up in Map Room, but still with full blue Evos. Something to consider here as we tune in to Zainu, Girl, and company. The rest of these teams now seeing if they can take advantage of the Map Room scan. How many times can they hang out here, too, before they figure out where that next circle is going to be going to? Because Girl, being on the Pathfinder, could get that ring beacon information.
I mean, Girl, I know, has been enjoying the new season. I keep seeing Girl posting about what she's learned. I think she learned how to use a chainsaw. Today she learned how to make grape leaf wraps. She is learning. So she's becoming her best self during the Double Take event, and it is on and off screen. We'll see how much that knowledge can be put to use, however, as blue shields versus the purple shields of Zach Mazur's squads that's pushing up does mean an increasingly tense situation towards Map Room.
Love to put some highlight on G-Money herself, playing on the outskirts right there by Map Room while all the chaos is still going down here by Repulsor. Again, it's a lot of that coexisting that we can expect between It's Timmy being on one side of these buildings with another squad neighboring them right next door, but it's also the makeshift cover that we keep seeing with these lifeline care packages, and luckily for them, with the zipline that they've set up, they can easily go in for a quick rotate to get back onto the high ground.
I've got really high hopes for Timmy's squad. We talked about how good their position was earlier, and that certainly has not changed. Although looking at the next ring, they will have to coordinate, and that's where I think any team with Timmy on it is going to have a really big edge. A great calmer, and now on Pathfinder as well, able to manually set up rotates for the squad. See how they pull this off, as the next minute and 30 seconds will be critical for Team Timmy.
Talk about also set up here. It looks like they have multiple gold knockdowns on this squad because you saw the pings and it looked like Daz's may have already had one here, obviously, as you prioritize your lifeline. But just having that in mind and the way that they could just reset so quickly with all the rotates coming in from the zip lines now, trying to cross in that distance, and look at the setup on the high ground.
Call me crazy, but I don't see a Rampart on this squad. I'm not sure exactly how these walls get. I can take a guess. I'll call it an educated guess, as there are several Ramparts in the lobby to inherit the spot from, but Trevstacks, one of our most notable Ramparts in all of Apex Legends, is just approaching now from the northwestern side and taking a fight up against Reps and Grandma Forfeit. This is the same squad that they fought earlier up at the top of the hill trying to rotate into Cage.
Oh, they just can't escape each other here. See Reps charging up the Sentinel. putting in the space here with the mother load as well as the knuckle clusters trying to get into position, though. They will be forced to rotate in their direction here as Rep's team does hold the edge of the circle, but they're still in the line of sight of what, 2-3 other squads looking at them right now?
It is amazing, actually, that Reps takes almost no damage, but he gets back inside, and it is a horror show. This knuckle cluster should do a lot of work, though. Watch the nades as he throws them out. Zach finds a knock in the kill feed. The nades continue to fly. Reps will go down, but how much has he done? Can Casellos and Graham a forfeit clutch it up? The ring is closing. It's just Casellos left, and a Pathfinder zip in front of him does not save Team Trev Stacks. It is Team Casellos that comes out on top.
Oh, and staying alive inside of the smoke to be able to get the shield up, but can he make the plays happen? Because there's a lot more action to distract the teams that were looking at them from the high ground now as more squads approach Team Rain Day. Clara now holding it down as she's trying to go in for the reset.
Good pylons. Check out how much value Team Rain Day was able to get through the smart use of a Watson pylon, negating a lot of the ordinances that were thrown at them to otherwise take them out of that spot. They do have to fight, and it looks like Team Timmy, they do too. Unfortunately, down to just one member. Timmy's got to pull off the reset of his life with only 2 more respawn beacons in the zone and none in the subsequent one.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. That's going to be crazy, especially looking at the amount of teams that have already been able to reset right now. Between the Seer ult, the Watson fences painting a picture from down below. That was Snipe Down team actually neighboring Team Reese now going in, and they are able to get the finisher here too. Huge, because that's also 2 extra KP that they're going to work into.
I think it's the last member of Team Hembino that just dropped down as well. Team Euris does retain the high ground, and again, this use of the Watson pylon into a reset on the low ground. They do not allow a lot of space for other squads to walk up on them. Very, very well played. Check out the low ground, where we've just got a full res from Team Casellos. It's right into the hands, however, of We the People. Snipe Down, Confusing Cutie, and Erica. That is such a quick cleanup on Team Reps.
Oh, I mean, Christmas came early if you're looking to be the kill leader and the whole team res is right in front of you. Now moving in, though, still from the high ground. They're not holding it down, though. Instead, Janie playing her life. The hamlock. Janie is just her. The clutch up as Team Yuris exit out to the lobby.
We saw our one clip like 2 people there, and it was in that fight against the very same team, Team Euris, that had held on to high ground for so long, dismantling that defense. We'll see what Team Janie can do as they drop down onto the low ground, where, I tell you, Vicky, it is just as chaotic. We've only got Verholst left up with a Watson here. Derry is locking the building down with some nicely placed fences, and again, these rampart walls, this time from Boom Razzle, keeping them safe, albeit temporarily. This door can no longer be closed because of the death boxes, and it may very well be the thing that takes out Team Verholst.
Oh, but there were this line of sight of so much action. Zainu, the last member, finally gets eliminated with 8 squads left. And look at the different corners that we are holding now in a circle like this, which very much pulls out into the open, minus the very lip of the fence line that exits out of caustic treatment. So you can expect a lot more of these shacks to be held up by more of these Watson squads.
The third-party Kings and Queens, however, moving in from the northwest side of the map. That's going to be a really exciting maneuver. We the People spearheading this rotation for the squad. Throws out a Bangalore smoke, getting them ever closer to the action, where Naughty is fighting to clean up a squad. Doesn't get the shield swap in time. Will pop into the building. Samurai Sky's just been thirsted. Everyone is all up in their face. But it looks like Team Stay Naughty will come out on top. Naughty claims the title of kill leader, and it is just as We the People shows up with the rest of the squad to clean up the fight.
Oh, he's literally won. Is he going to be able to pop this shield bat here? Also healing with right next to that Watson Gen. He has his smokes. 7 squads left. And the fact that they've been able to stay alive after all these other teams had to drop down from height, from that command center, is incredible. But also playing off this low ground here.
I do appreciate that Erica's laying down the pylon, giving the team a lot of regen. Timmy may go down. Seeing a lot of shots thrown this way, and no longer. Leo also, last person left on their team, is going to be moving in. We do have a couple reses going off. There's going to be Team Janie and Samurai, who are getting their third and fourth back into the game, where Timmy, still somehow alive, has not yet found a respawn beacon, doesn't even have all the banners, but is somehow managing to survive as Team Hambino goes down.
I'm getting a little sense of deja vu here. The fact that we're in a very similar final circle to the one that we saw from our previous solos event. Timmy, no stranger to a zone like this after that action, and now he's trying to stay alive on the other edge of that zipline as we see more of these squads bunkered down behind the new castle wall nonetheless.
When we talked about using 4 people, how much space can you really hold? Check out what Team Sorcerer is doing, using Newcastle and Rampart to give themselves fortified positions where they control the majority of this circle, Vicky.
I talk about space. I mean, you got the smokes to make up your space, you got the Newcastle wall, and you have the Rampart walls here too. Aside from that, you also have height. You have the positional advantage where you could start forcing these teams to not only fight each other, but then take 2 different off angles to just keep everybody in your line of sight and get even more KP to your name.
Oravin with the Spitfire Havoc. Feels Season 21, man. Feels Season 21. Has got a great angle onto Team Stay Naughty on the low ground. Sheila comes out to play as well, and Aura is laying down the hurt, keeping teams honest as just a few seconds left. Some nice nades here as well. Aura is really thinking on their feet just to keep everyone on the low ground from pushing up onto height. You do control this space, but you don't want to have to fight for it if you can avoid it.
Very hard. Oh, but the cat wall though.
Nice.
Perfect way to try to push in, but a nicely saved bang ult to completely stop that rotate. With the circle closing in, now they have one less corner to look at instead. They have to focus on the team snipe down that are going to be approaching from the bottom, and Zach Mazer is still alive for his squad.
Gonna get focused down soon, surely. Smoke comes out. We the people should know that is not his. Good control out of Team Sorcerer off of Aura's comms, have managed to retain the high ground for right now, and Sorcerer continuing to do the same thing as he did with the Bangle. Keep this squad from being able to take height. Teammates Janie still wanting to move up as Zach does go down, leaving us with just 3 squads left. Snipe and We the People are moving up. It leaves things open for Team Janie to swing in from behind. Naughty's gonna follow things up, using the Havoc, does go down as Sheila from above. It's all Aura all the time. Last 2 squads. Sheila doesn't have much ammo left, but these nades are gonna do it. Down comes the swing, in comes the Rampart wall. Aura knows they've got the win, and in they come to finish it off. Team Sorcerer take game 1 very, very stylishly, Vicky.
Oh, say hello to my little friend, the Sheila, coming out to play. And with the confidence too, Dia. You saw Aura drop down, immediately pull out that barrier, and then take out the Sheila just to be the nail in the coffin to the dub here. Again, they were in the best position that they could hold for everybody else to go into their line of sight.
That was so awesome. And it's not very often that you get to see Ramparts being that aggressive, but I gave a lot of credit to Aura in the moment, and I'm going to keep giving it to her after. Moving down onto the low ground and aggressively placing the amped cover, knowing that your team's got the win and taking that. Let's see how teams do it. Moving into our second game of the day, Team Sorcerer found our first win. We wondered whether Team Imperial Hal would change things up, but no, they go crash site again to contest.
You gotta run it back. You gotta ego them here too, especially when you know that you got that. It was down to 1v1. Let's not forget, Hal had really started great when he was able to get the first 2 initial knocks that were very important in that fight, but no clutch factor here as we get to see the run back with Hal taking a different off angle with just the Havoc and the Mozam in hand.
Does have a lot of backup on the way as well. Notice no lifeline for this squad, so if Miss Squirtle goes down, it'll be difficult to get her back into the fight. Hal slides up with her, gonna take a swing at the same time, evict the squad from up top, where Naughty and Janie have now been thirsted. Hal continues the fight, does pick up another kill onto Samurai Sky. That is our kill leader now being taken out.
He destroyed them. The way that Hal slid in with the Havoc like that, not only did he absolutely fry Janie to get that first initial knock, but then being able to also chase down, see where the other members have scattered, maybe try to prevent them from trying to get a reset. They could also cut off the rotate that you could expect them to go in if they want to get access to a replicator, considering that Samurai Scene did have a lifeline.
And Hal does land really close, not to the continuation of that squad, but to a new squad entirely. It's Team Trevstacks that was landing right next to Team Hal and extended up north last game to pick up a little bit more loot. This time around, same exact thing happens, but unfortunately, they're going to get caught knocking up against each other. Bullet L fires a little bit at Imperial Hal, right back the other way. V Jenga, the sole escaping member from Crash Site, is looking desperately for a way to craft, but cannot be caught out by Team Trevstacks.
I mean, when the Replicator is in the middle of that entire quad squad, good luck. Maybe you have to try to test your luck elsewhere with a lot of these other members, as you can see, even all the way by Rig with Drop's team. Being able to split up that loot is very important, because aside from the fact that you have another head taking this loot, you have to do it in a way where everybody gets the loot that they need, as well as the Evil Harvester, the Ring Beacon, because we are now shifting all the way over to the other side in between bunker.
I am sweating for Jenga right now. I think they did notice as I see just a hint of bullets fired up towards the north. This zone, however, as you noted, pulling us down further south. Teams like those coming out of Relic, Zach Mazer really leading the pack here, very separate from the rest of the squad, are trying to take a lot of space in the center of zone and are encountering resistance. Well, we've got some other people running chill games. Timmy, for example, seems to be having a fine time.
Little stroll in the park real quick just to be able to get that scan on the beacon. Also love to see the weapon loadout, the Sentinel, the PK ready to go. And also, with the Legend composition, you still got that Watson, the Newcastle, the Bangalore, and Timmy still sticking onto this Pathfinder. But now noting where the circle is going to be pulling, they're already trying to make their next move to start going for that rotate.
Very ammo-efficient loadout with the Sentinel PK. You're not going to be firing a lot of shots to take someone down, but it does mean that every single one of them has to land. Something that, well, I'm sure Timmy can do, does frighten me a little bit.
Absolutely no issue. As we're going to continue zooming through the sky, more of these teams now going to be able to wrap around the other side of the mountain that we just saw Timmy in. Probably going to go for the rotate through that south side of Cage, but also trying to call out the other squads that are going to be rotating from the east side of the map. We saw some teams landing by Swamps, going to be rotating away from Hydro. There was a survey beacon as well as a ring console over by Cage, so that's something that Verhols could take advantage of, just trying to see if any other team may be trying to creep their way behind them as they take their time.
I like these moves, moving through the cover as you try and access the next zone. Going through the center of the map, you and I did note, is going to be dangerous. It's a pretty widely accepted thing about Kings Canyon. Boomrazzle lands some very nice shots with the uncharged Sentinel to cover their backs. But right now, for Team Verholst, it is more about accessing the next zone and not getting caught up in a fight right here where you can be flanked from multiple angles.
It's always so scary to try to take a fight here when you know that maybe teams that want to play by the edge could easily rotate through the market tunnel side, or if they want to try to go for a third party, if they have an evac tower. The team that they were shooting at, though, it'll be Team Reptar. Giggle, an absolute insane player, but we get to see the quad takeoff from the Valkyrie, my new favorite thing to see from the Skyward Dive. It just looks like you have a straggler right behind them, right? Like, it's very awkward, odd one out when it comes to coming in here.
This is my team, and this is my pet. I brought them along for the ride. It does end up working, however, as this rotate does take Team Reptar ahead of Team Verhols and right into the center of the zone. There's no way this building is just casually unoccupied.
Oh, we take those. We absolutely take those here, too, especially if you could just get a free bunker down. And that's with them rotating off the Skyward Dive, where we could assume maybe with the first perk, going to be able to get a higher Skyward Dive utility and being able to find way more distance on that rotate. Well, teams still have not stopped fighting. Now, this time over by Runoff, as House team quickly made their way away from Crash Site, but Miss Squirtle was the first one to get knocked.
And we talked about this. Team Hal does not have a lifeline, so they are going to have to go for manual res. It means not a lot of people are covering. Hal's going to move up, try and buy a little bit of space as Miss Squirtle gets back into the game. A shield bat should keep her relatively healthy, but the fight is coming to them, as now Team Awope is going to be moving up. Mia's covering a lot of angles with Watson, just making sure that nobody comes over the top onto them, and with blue shields, Team Awope is going to end up playing more conservatively. They know enough time went off that the res has likely happened. They have high ground and good cover in here.
But they also know at this point, there's no lifeline to pressure them out when it comes to trying to get these finishes too. So very nice to note, consider the amount of support legends that we usually see here on each of these teams, and they've opted to now take the rotate out of there. Seeing the amount of squads and seeing where that next circle could be pulling indicates that they may want to be on the other side of that bridge wall that you usually see between containment and bunker.
I was noticing earlier today, please revive me, sent out a tweet, looked fantastic. He's had really nice hair, very nice haircut for today, very nice piercings, and a nice chain as well, glammed up for sure. Game 1 didn't go their way, and I'm noticing now they've picked up something a little bit more glamorous than the Lifeline, I would argue, the Newcastle, as a compositional and stylistic shift for themselves. Please revive me. Try and get a little bit more active. Take more space on Newcastle. Maybe get some advantages for the team.
And the pressure there too, because you know that pressure when you see a Newcastle resing in front of your face, and they got a blue knockdown, even a cold knockdown, obviously something that you definitely want to prevent. But it's about elongating these fights that are already long as it is, with quads coming into play. And it looks like finding a building now as Hal takes a different position, just trying to make sure that no other team sneaks by him, but also noting the squads that are going to have to forcibly rotate from the containment side into that next circle, because a lot of this chaos is going to be on that middle side of the map that you and I talked about, Gia, in front of bunker.
Check out this angle. Hal's waiting for the time to strike. He's going to have to move up at exactly the right time. Out goes the Newcastle, and good lord, it's please revive me, taken to the front lines. Now, with a little bit of time to recover, nades follow through from Hal, who has to get out of there. He's been focused by the whole team, and please revive me, managing to stay alive. He's huge inside the building. Caustic traps galore will help Miss Squirtle. Take a second and breathe. We've got a third party coming in on this. 12 players are about to be involved in this fight.
For free! You gotta wait for free! And the fact that there was nobody in an angle to follow up off of Hal's damage, but that's the inevitable here as Hal does not stop the pressure. Please revive me, can't get a break. Neither can Miyamoka. They go down. 15 squads still alive, and Hal, with this fight going as long as it has, needs some help. Finally, the follow-up comes in. He already knocked 2, just 2 more to go.
I mean, he's taken 3 people out of the fight, but inside, it's not looking too good for the squad. Hugh and Squirtle both fall, and it's Team Stay Naughty with perfect timing on the third party. They're collecting KP and loot on top of all of this, Vicky. I am noticing that no squad has been wiped yet, however. We've still got 15 teams left, and that does open things up for everyone who was just taken out to be revived in the next couple of minutes.
Are you telling me, Dia, that Jenga got the res and they got the revenge straight up against Hal's team? We gotta jump into Illicit now to see what their next move is gonna be.
Really late though, so we don't get flanked from behind. I think you guys start taking space over here.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm on look actually. Watch our back towards Spit.
You know what's in that pack over there?
No, I'll look into it though. I think someone took it. It's a Rampart team here.
Ugh, that's not epic.
Oh, that is not what we want.
Ooh.
I think we're gonna.
Same.
We canceled after the not epic comment. I won't be having any of this Rampart disparaging on stream. Clara.
Yeah.
Good comms. Not wanting to push up on the Rampart squad for sure. And honestly, you've got a little while to evaluate here. You'll notice a lot of teams, like Team Urias, have moved up to control this town, but the circle's not actually pulling here, Vicky, and that's where things get a little bit complicated. As not epic as the pushing a Rampart squad might be, it may just be necessary, as Team Urias is going to try and bypass it. With smart use of a zip line, they get to a difficult-to-push angle. Can they survive here?
I'm in danger. Good luck as Clara takes so much damage, is able to reset. It is nice to note that so many of our teams are still alive despite this split up fights. Look at this, 15 squads still left. The Loba Black Market, just in case you can go in for a clutch Evil Shield swap. But Stay Naughty's team has not given up the pressure now as they move in from the low ground.
Surely Naughty doesn't go for this, but never mind.
no.
I say that just as Janie apes on upwards, using the Pathfinder grapple to get easy access to the fight. Shrum goes down, and it's looking all right for Team Stay Naughty, but the third party behind them is devastating as in comes Snipe Down with a knock, leaving Jenga no choice but to disengage. This is the same team that got whittled down to just a solo earlier, and now they are having to head for the hills once more, try and find another reset as a third party completely foils their attempt to shut down Team Urice.
The fact that Jenga is able to get out of there once again, very impressive. The first always to make sure that they can get out of an issue here, especially seeing where this next circle is going to be rotating. But that has not stopped Snipe Down from still looking at this team in a very bad spot, because they don't start moving in the next minute, they're going to die to this next zone. You can even still see more of these squads still with blue Evo shields.
Catastrophic nades being thrown up here as well. Team Sorcerer should be finishing off the squad shortly. Devo is certainly going to help with that. Doesn't even have a flatline, but doesn't want to use it. Knows that you can, with these red weapons, just make short work of a squad. Nia's gonna fall. It is just one member left on this squad. Nice, clean, easy work put out by Team Sorcerer, who again is looking very in control, even on the far side of zone. Team Awoke go down. That is our first squad eliminated, Vicky.
Alrighty, with the fourth circle ready to close in, and look who's gatekeeping from bunker side. Nonetheless, all these teams are going to have to move, but I think now noting what's waiting for them on the other side, Snipe Down probably has a skyward dive, but where do you land after you make this rotate is the question. We already saw teams like Verholz get into a shack over on that north side by the bunker. Huge beams coming in, lovely tracking and follow-up from Rita Peeps, and then for Snipe Down to be the nail in the coffin into Rain Day, getting knocked. 14 squads left, and they still, with the ring closing in the next 3 seconds, have not stopped the pressure.
Snipes managed to get a knock, though. Doesn't take a reset. Could be worried about this. Swings onto Chu, and this is a big problem. Making a push without actually finding enough time to heal means that he's going to be rezzed in zone, and it is a zone that hurts, Vicky. There's no time to get out of here.
Where do you even get to coexist? You're in the line of sight of so many different teams. If you're Trev Stacks right now, having to work around the nade. Huge nade, though. Completely burns through his shields. Luckily, they still have space to work through the crevice. Verholz getting a knock onto Stay Naughty, and it's just playing on the edge of this circle as it closes in is the only plan that they can have here, playing on that side.
It is just about controlling sight lines. Team Snipe Down does go down, and I was just holding this for a while, Vicky. We the people going down to zone couldn't be the hide-and-seek tournament. Couldn't be the hide-and-seek tournament we ran just a few months ago. Not like that.
Nope. Not gonna happen here. It doesn't work out in this case, especially with the amount of teams looking at you. Can't really hide. If anything, it's the only seeking part that they have to worry about. With the other squad waiting for them inside the building, you see the Seer ult called in, revealing exactly where they're at, though, even with things putting down those smokes, and now the mother load on top of it to at least give them the space.
Bria, interestingly, does not step into the smoke, doesn't want to be spotted on the outlines that would give, and instead Team Trev Stacks are resetting with very little space. Credit to Trev Stacks where it's due, laying out knuckle clusters just as if it's caustic gas to keep everyone at bay, but a knock comes in, and the fight is going to be over just as quickly. Trev Stacks goes down, Bullet L survives just behind them, but it is a limited lease on life as Leo the Lion picks up a few thirsts and resets off of what sounds like a third party.
Potentially, at least from the distance, it doesn't look like Bullet's going to be able to sneak in any shots himself. Just going to be able to keep himself hidden for right now, as they're going to be able to loot his teammates' death boxes right at his feet. But look at this circle. Look at the teams that were able to finally funnel themselves on the other side of that bunker.
Huge rotates.
That's two huge rotates coming in from 2 different teams, actually finding the rooftop, but in the line of sight of other squads, Dia.
There were like 8 zip lines connecting to this building. Everyone's sending it. The kill feed is exploding. And we're sure to see squads drop. 11 teams left as Zainu takes an angle up on high ground, slow rotating through the side of the zone. And with a Newcastle, you could do it. One of the teams that rotated in early, Team Timmy, does go down. Girl comes in. G-Money clutches up with the Newcastle wall. And though they have lost one, it looks like Team Zainu will be able to stabilize on high ground.
Look at this mess in the building. Saucer's team continues to also collect even more KP, but it is Reps, the Debt Collector, finding Zach hidden in the other side. The last member of Zach Mazur's team here. Knuckle Cluster coming out, but G Money though gets taken down.
No.
That knock huge with the third party now on the other side.
Keeps everyone on Team Reps from being able to focus on this. This house, by the way, just lit entirely up. There is no heads or tails of what's going on. And look, we've got another guest showing up as well. It's Zainu, the last member left. Unfortunately, Newcastle plan on the high ground didn't work out. There was too much chaos, and Zainu is just waiting under this one going, surely enough people are enough cover.
Not only that, also alongside another solo. I'm not too sure if that was Snipe on the other side, but there is another solo neighboring him together as they share the bottom end of this building, trying to stay alive as a trio. Stay Naughty's team on the high ground.
Best place to be, honestly. There's not a lot that Team Stay Naughty have to be worried about. They're not even running that low on ammunition. Pretty good weaponry, lots of death boxes. Winning this fight has its advantages, and may I remind you, it's Vjanga who has gotten them here off of 2 different resets. Vjanga has managed to keep the team alive. This may be the MVP lifeline of the tournament.
Hands down MVP DI. Not only gets the second full reset, but also making this space work as a trio. That is insane for this final circle and the best spot you could hold here. I mean, do you think they have enough mobile respawn beacons? So maybe create some space with the lifeline care packages. As look at the solos still below them. I actually think that may be Saucer. Yeah, Saucer's on the other side with the rest of his squad. But as the chaos goes down, Furls jumps right in front of the solo. It was Greek on the other side, and now he can wrap around, and Zainu found Verhos. It was Zainu and Greek, the solos that were on that low ground.
Team Imperial Hell has gone down. 5 squads left. We're in the money now. Every spot can take you up in terms of the prizing. Team Reptar hoping to eliminate another squad. They're the ones with full advantage. They had the Seer ultimate earlier to plan out their rotation. As they make the exit from the building, insta-pylon to prevent a lot of ordinances. Up on high ground, doesn't look too good for Team Stay Naughty. Vjanga still alive, still providing cover fire, and on lifeline, gonna be getting Reses up on top of the high ground as Team Reptar emerge from below, taking out Casellos. 5 squads left still, but surely will drop one.
Must be nice to be Valkyrie to fly up to the top.
Team Zainu
has to disengage, has to watch out as the circle closing in. Zainu gets eliminated. Our 4 squads left as Miss Lauren has trying to stay alive behind every single knockdown shield. But
Vjanga is still in this!
Everything!
Vjanga crushes it! It brings Team Stay Naughty to top 2! And this is going to have to come down to the 1v1. Medkit inside of the knockdown shields. Team Stay Naughty might just do it, but as they try and come up to the high ground, Reps shuts them down. What an incredible journey for Team Stay Naughty, though. Vicky, this is unheard of. They lose a contest at Crash Site. It's just Vjanga that gets out. They reset. They third-party a fight. They die again. Vjanga resets them again. They take high ground. You can't write this. Congratulations to Team Reps. Very cool. Very awesome. Glad you won. I know we've got a great stream running here. This is where you can check out the main action. This should be, of course, your hub. But I encourage you, really, if you're watching these games and finding content creators that you enjoy, that you think are styling, check out Vjanga, for example. My boy, you have to say hola when you join his chat because he's going to be streaming in Spanish today, so give him an hola buenos dias from me. But lots of streamers, content creators to check out. If you like somebody, like a play they make, just like their vibe, go give them some love.
Especially here in the Apex, fam. We love being able to support the community too, to be able to see how a lot more of these community events play out, and who could claim even more of the $50,000 prize pool that we have, transitioning from Kings Canyon into Olympus. Not only that, quads here, and we're already choosing violence with Hambino, not only getting the knockup to Zach Mason in your feed, but also the finisher.
Oh no, oh no. It just gets worse. This time, a little bit of a Mazer moment, not so much Mazer magic. But you've got time to recover, as we haven't eliminated any squads yet, so it is just a singular pick. A lot of teams landing very close to each other here, however, and that can be a little nerve-wracking, Vicky, because it does not take a lot of time to cross the entirety of Olympus. It's a very small map. When you're right next door to each other, you're likely going to fight pretty soon.
Especially when you get to pull up with 4 people on the Trident now, zooming away for real. And now looking at where this circle is going to be pulling, sometimes could actually pull a little bit more south towards where we the people are, kind of closer to that Trident on that platform where high ground is just super superior, but allows more of that open space for other teams that are going to be coming in from that north side of the circle to really poke out the squads that don't really have space to play off of that low ground part of Olympus. But nonetheless, also seeing a lot of the other teams that have respected the POIs and actually have not only their respective POI, but their own loot before trying to fight and duke it out with another squad nearby.
I do wonder how we're going to see teams play this out, because you've got a couple of options. Do you want to go through estates and pick fights, which is certainly what I would do? Or are you going to try and move through Oasis and maybe encounter a little bit of trouble there, but be able to control one of these buildings before ultimately moving into zone? It's less a matter on Olympus of if you will fight than when you will fight, and picking a POI and a way to play the mid-game that enables the timing that you're looking for.
Really good point here, too, when it comes to a map like Olympus, too. Comes into play with the different things you could work with, whether it be the Marvins that you want to bully, or even the extra loot that you could pick up over by Orbital, I believe, over on the south side. Sorry, I mean Phase Driver over on that side. We do see teams already making the rotate away from Orbital, and then the squads. Talked about Leo, we talked about Girl. Hal's team now with a little bit of a change up and playing a different legend. We saw the Horizon last time on Kings Canyon get onto height just as quickly, and now we see some death boxes at their feet.
It's giving us a swap in roles as well. I'm noticing that while Hal has stayed on things like Bangalore, Girl was playing Newcastle last game, has swapped over, given that to Leo, and instead has gone with Pathfinder, one of her signature legends.
Going way back to the roots, there's a Trident. Gonna be prime shipping on the 4 different players. Gonna be able to see where they rotate here. We did see some death boxes before, but still 15 squads left. Only 1 player out of this lobby, but it looks like they actually just got rezzed somewhere on the map. More of these teams taking their time to rotate, playing more so by the edge of that circle. Talking about teams that are going to be coming in from Hydroponics, Elysium. You can see here how many squads are going to be able to also coexist on this side of Olympus.
All I'm saying right now, Vicky, not enough ballistic. I think we could all be benefiting from a little bit of ballistic in our lives, and that so far has evaded us. Even in Oasis right now, as we see even more teams rocketing in, think of how much less ammo you have to carry if it's just always infinite.
That's true, you always have that ballistic ult ready to go. You feel even better though when you find yourself in a nice safe spot in where that final circle is going to pull, and how already putting in that pressure on the team that's decided to take height, but there's another team flying in from right above them, making 5 other squads of quads already finding their spot in Oasis. They get the knock, and they do want to capitalize on the back end here.
Did anybody see We the People take out all of Team Shred Stacks? That was
crazy.
A full kill feed moment, but good lord, We the People definitely pulling out the #1 Pred badge for a reason there. That man is a monster on the sticks, and Imperial Hal doing much the same thing down in the low ground. Has not found a knock yet, but that was a lot of damage he just put down, letting Johnny Price be rezzed in the meantime.
It's the fact that he's holding such an aggressive position while allowing the rest of his team to try to reset. But here comes Girl, though, side by side with Hal, having to acknowledge not only the bang ult, but the third party that is now creeping in right behind their squad. So much split attention, though, coming in from this team, as now other teams are looking at them from across.
And we have split up to basically 2 teams. This is one of the things that can happen in quads, but with Girl and Hal on one side and Leo and Johnny Price on the other, you've essentially just got 2 separate squads that are controlling as much area as they can. In this case, respecting the fact that they are a duo, we're going to see Hal and Girl disengage, still try and find a res, but it'll mean they have to leave because you cannot sit center zone. Oh my god! Snipe Down gets eviscerated.
He took that last bullet on the burst from the Hemlock to be able to get that knock. But I like the decision here from Hal, actually having to back away. He wanted to get that finish onto Snipe, but Girl's in trouble, so the communication's coming out, and now Hal is trying to cover for her after she gets cracked. It's another team. It is Stay Naughty coming in, and he immediately one-clips Hal here as Girl tries to get away with the grapple.
Olympus, so much of a faster-paced map. We are on the verge of seeing another team eliminated. We're on Kings Canyon. We had 15 squads forever. It is so dangerous to be on your own in Olympus with very little cover to work with and a lot of teams in a small space. Even taking a look towards the south, Team Reptar is going to be moving in, and there's not a lot of space for even them to take up, as up in front of them, Clara at Work and Deridium are holding this small little village, I guess I'll call it, that Gazellos and Awope can no longer hold. Reptar certainly can't rotate into, leaving you with basically nothing to play.
Yeah, no name lot, whereas the platform right below this exact POI has so much loot and space to coexist in, so you'll usually have a team playing off that low ground, but the same thing could be said about the amount of teams that could find a spot in these two Oasis buildings, even if they have to play off that low ground. But a lot of these teams, now rotating from the hydroponic side, have to think about which angle they can move in without getting gate kept. Like you mentioned, Claire's squad is already holding on to that high ground here, and they're getting gate kept, looking at Reptar's squad if they want to try to find a way to wrap around and then approach from the state side.
Casellos backing up Vijanga on the low ground. This time, I'm definitely spotting that Vijanga's done me a favor. I know I liked his lifeline. I love me some Rampart. And being able to showcase Rampart alongside a Newcastle here does give you a lot of staying power, as we already saw in Game 1 when Team Sorcerer won on Kings Canyon.
So much cover to work with, as well as safely take out that Sheila, even if you don't get that damage buff. Here's all that space, though, that we were mentioning, and you don't even get to share it with other squads. Instead, you just take the whole building for yourself, and it works when you have the Watson on your team. You highlighted We The Peeps earlier, too, who's on that low ground. You see Clara on the high ground, just sharing that with Rep's squad, managing to not only gatekeep the teams that will have to come in from Elysium. At least they do have that jump tower, but they will be flying overhead once they get into that next circle.
Clara sticking on the lifeline as well, the real anchor of the squad. It does, you need at least one person on a support legend, and Clara is exactly the kind of person that would be like, you know what, guys, I'll do it. I want to shout out Clara as well while we're here. She's been doing some fantastic content around the ALGS recently. Her comp knowledge has really been shown, as she's managed to get a lot of watch parties in. Been enjoying it recently. Go check Clara out as we tune into another fight that unfortunately has our ALGS boy Rain Day going down first. Might still be recoverable, though. Hugh, nice beam with the flatline. Doesn't even use the amped cover to do it, which is crazy. And Rain Day gets back into the game just as the zone starts closing.
Rain Day can't catch a break. This is them getting the res for Rain Day and then now having to reset inside the circle. Huge beams coming in from Zainu with lackluster ammunition here, and with the catwalk coming up, he's going to be able to slide right behind there. Nice cover going to be given, and it's about playing on the edge of the circle while now they're the ones feeling that pressure from the circle.
And Hugh just gets to set up. Doesn't need to push out into the zone. In fact, it's wiser not to, with a team like Dropped looking in behind you. Not a lot of space to play for Team Dropped, but certainly more than you've got sitting in this meager corner. It'll be difficult to make their way out of the center of the map, as Turbine doesn't have a lot of vertical clearance to use things like, of course, Valkyrie ults, but I'm thinking specifically about evac towers right now, without getting taken down by Team Dropped.
Exactly, being on that low ground and then having a team right above you here on the lot that neighbors Turbine, Dropped is going to be able to have a field day here. They're feeling the pressure with 11 squads left. Now the question is, do you try to rotate through estates? You still have a bit of time here with less than 35 seconds, and it does look like that is going to be the play here that Zainu makes.
Now Zainu doesn't have any smoke, so even taking lead on Bangalore right now is a bit risky. Since they're not shot at for the moment, you are relatively safe, but taking a look at the timer, things aren't looking great. 19 seconds left to close the gap into the next zone, and you've got a whole team in front of you. Team Awope, who are looking out at the open area, have not spotted Team Zainu yet. But you know Vijanga, as soon as he turns around, things are going to get real terrifying for Team Zainu.
Especially if he's not the first one that they take up a rain day, a sentinel shot to find him knocked, and that was right after he had popped a bat. He is feeling the pressure. They are going to be able to get this res, and they are going to have to start moving now that the circle is closing in on this evac tower.
I am blown away that this evac tower is allowed to exist. If I am Rampart, I am taking out that evac tower 10 out of 10 times, but it don't happen here. Instead, Vijang actually drops back down to the floor very low as it looks like Team Casellos is trying to rotate out of here using an evac tower of their own. They're splitting up. Awope takes the low ground while Vijanga tries to fly again, will join up with the rest of the team, but it is a critically split squad as Rain Day is going to fall again. My sweet, beautiful boy falling on the low ground, and it could very well be the end of a squad. It is, as it is just Entity. Mastiff in hand, lays out some sick shots, but will be taken down as Team Zainu are out. 10 squads left.
Oh, he was so desperate to jump in and start the res so that way he could work off of the gold knock perhaps, but Clara and Bullet hold it down on that platform. Duridium is also right there alongside them, feeling the pressure though. Hopefully he's going to be able to get the loot that they need, or maybe even a shield swap. Reps on the other side, holding the other side of the wall here, but they're covering so much ground on that south side of the circle, but they're not in it just yet. Well, the action has also not stopped for Team Uris on the north side of this circle.
Team Drop playing this pretty well at the same time. They were gatekeeping earlier and now have managed to move in with a nice bit of cover as well, provided by the crafter and the bushes just to the side of them. Have a little bit of time to reset, grab ammo, interestingly enough. So Dropped is using a lot of that, it appears. He is carrying way too much ammo, in my opinion, but maybe he's got a way to justify this. Let's drop into a listen in with Team Dropped.
They're up, their team up there.
Hope that was on main broadcast because that's hilarious. Yeah, right here, peeking.
Ooh, look at this guy.
88 fuse right here.
We should have 3-2-1 them. Look here, it's all good though.
Newcastle.
Can we like?
We might need to hold this rock.
I think we have to play for that.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think we gotta like bangle and just like cross. We can catch a timer.
They're not watching, they're not watching.
There's
a whole Rampart team right here. On my ping, bro.
Yeah, get up here to this corner.
I'm marking with
Let's look at that care pack too.
I think I hear people above here.
My playing Rampart team.
Do you have anything on heartbeat?
Yeah.
You scan?
Yeah.
This is Eva 8, by the way.
There it is.
Ooh.
I cracked one. I'm gonna bang with them. Just play slow, play slow.
Yep.
Telling? Yeah, get a gen
Cracked
down.
another one. I got fried though.
We can probably kill them, okay?
I'm batting. Be careful of this over here.
No.
Almost killed one.
Behind us.
Looking right. Yeah, on our right.
Yep. They're looking down on us right now. Oh,
Yeah.
Green goes on the side.
We gotta slide down and maybe play this side.
Yeah.
Play to me. Maybe look left for kills.
Wait, be
There's a
careful
team
of
there.
that. They're getting fried though.
Team bottom left.
Look here.
Heal.
25.
I'm gonna smoke our right side.
They went around.
One
They're
more.
playing our side. I cracked
I
one.
need to bat. I need to bat.
Yeah.
What you gotta do?
Look at that. Be careful of
I'm
that.
on
Careful.
Yeah, we gotta swing around.
Crack.
They're looking down.
Jumping on us!
Down.
Fuse! On the left. He's low.
Fuck.
Nice.
Above still on scan. Above on scan.
Stay up.
I need heal. Oh.
I'm batting.
No, they're jumping on you.
Aw.
It's one. No. Stay alive, Drops. You in this.
Bit tough for Team Dropped, but this was the moment where they had to clutch up, and on the low ground, as Diamoka pointed out so eloquently, they got jumped. No ways out of that situation. Unfortunately, they're going to be sent back to the lobby, have another opportunity to clutch things up in our second round of Olympus, but for right now, it's up to everyone else in Oasis, as we're setting up for our final zone pull. This isn't the one that's going to end the game, but we're going to get darn close, Vicky, as not a lot of space is left in a spot like Oasis, even with low ground still being playable. It's up to Bullet to control the high ground, and they're going to do so by laying down a zip line, allowing for some quick mobility for them and the rest of the squad.
And I don't see a lot of these teams, even if there was space on that low ground, to even try to contest it unless they're so desperate, because you know, once you're forced off of that low ground, it is just easy pickings for any of the teams looking down on you from these spots. And if you could find yourself getting griefed from an easy third party from a squad that's going to have a way better spot than the teams that are going to be on that low ground, we're going to have to see, because right now, we've currently seen Team Reps with a crazy rotate from the south side of that part of the circle, now finding themselves safely inside this next circle, right alongside Giggle Squad here. A res coming in. Jenga is coming back this time. He's the one going to be able to get res.
Give the res, you shall receive the res. I like the nice bit of serendipity we've got in our first game on Olympus. Things not looking good for Grandma Forfeit. Remember, the cat's gotta eat. Grandma Forfeit manages to survive, and they've got Giggle, actually. Women's comp player and very, very talented. Going to be covering them on the lifeline, so I'm not too concerned about the reses, the resets, and all other health econ related troubles that you might be having otherwise on Team Stay Naughty.
I mean, even crazier, you're positioning more than anything as Lifeline to be not the first one to get knocked, because that is just easy green light for a squad to continuously ape you here at that point, take advantage and prevent the resets. But look at the way that these teams are coexisting right now, with Eurice's squad playing on the outskirts of the building, hogging the wall, another team on the first floor with Jenga, with Casellos on the high ground, rampart walls everywhere to build up the cover that you need.
I heard that Sheila, and I was like, oh no, this could be very, very bad, and it still could be. Eurice's team doesn't have a lot of ways to move, as up on high ground, Team Awoke have got most things covered. There is going to be a lot in between them and actually surviving the next ring, but with all of the high ground that they've got, I think you've got enough space as Team Awoke to take out some other squads that surround you, pick up a few KP. Jenga wastes a lot of ammo, or rather uses a lot of ammo, on taking out some walls. I am wondering whether they'll actually be able to convert this. Is Team Awoke in a good position, or is it a little too much? Is it a little too greedy for them to survive?
It's scary because they will obviously have to eventually drop down, and you already know, aside from the rampart walls you could build up for yourself for some makeshift cover, there's little to no ground to really hold that will keep you out of the line of sight of the teams that are going to now start funneling over from the left side of this final circle, from the two buildings on the outskirts of the one that we see the Jenga squad hold. But now, circle closing in, the mother load as well to buy in the space. They're going to have to drop down soon, but there's still two teams that are going to end up fighting beforehand. But Jenga has taken out Sheila, trying to put in the pressure.
Does a lot of work and somehow doesn't get focused by anyone else either. It's crazy how much sustain has had with a Rampart and a Newcastle, and even with the lifeline on high ground. We gotta fight Bruin on low ground as well. We are seriously cutting down teams, Vicky. Out goes Team Eurice. And ultimately, it will be Team Whoop that has to drop down onto the low ground right about now. Reps holding things down towards the north side of the map. Knuckle Cluster right into that corner keeps the rest of the team safe. But with Doridium down, there's no smokes here to keep them alive. Swing into the gas by Naughty. Doesn't take out Team Reps. Casellos comes over the top. Team Whoop is still alive, playing around the lifeline care package as Team Verholst goes down. We're going to be down to just two squads. Confusing Cutie's got the self-press. 3 squads left. Clara on the lifeline is farming through the Newcastle shield. Team Stay Naughty is down, and it should be Team Reps that wins this. Again, with just that lifeline res left, nothing stands between Team Reps and the back-to-back wins.
The consistency with a different team this time around for Team Reps. Reps has showcased what he could do as an IGL, and now showcasing the magic he can work with a new squad together. That is crazy, Dia. The barley of this series, and it's been amazing to see how Quads has been able to really change things up in terms of game fight positioning, the timing for a lot of these isolated fights, and how that's worked into the way that some of these teams want to go for their quick rotates, denying themselves the opportunity to get early loot, and instead just holding position instead.
I'm letting all y'all know, we are going into our 4th game. We're past the halfway point. If you haven't just yet, this is your reminder. Hydrate. It's important. I'm taking my drink of water now because it's the middle of summer, and as much as these games are enticing, you got to stay awake to watch them.
Especially with how it's been heating up, Dia. Dia's daily hydration bot reminder here for everybody watching from home. But also, I'm here to remind you to make sure to follow a lot of our Apex creators. If you guys are enjoying the vibes of a stream here, show your support. A lot of these cracked out Apex players always stream Mondays through Fridays, making sure that you catch their rank grind, and you definitely don't want to miss it because the action does not stop here.
You know, you see someone lighting up the kill feed, you know, Peebs just running through Team Trev stacks. Maybe go give Peebs some love. Give him a well done, because I know it means a lot to him. Very genuine guy, and a lot of the people that we've got here today really do enjoy having new people drop in and getting to know and add to the barrage, I'll say, of friendly people. Barrage does sound a little aggressive, but I've chosen to go with it because it really emphasizes the volume of people that you can have in some of these chats, Vicky.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to choose chaos, I love that. I love the barrage of pressure that we're seeing from a lot of our squads, and I love to see a different change-up with the circle pulling all the way towards the outskirts of Bonsai. So you get to see teams like Awope, who found themselves around the late game now, also going to be able to have that circle beacon alongside them, so they could be held in a pretty good position where maybe you can neighbor the team over by Bonsai, but without revealing too much, since that's a good spot to hold for height.
Even just, yeah, like you said, talking about being able to control high ground at all in this zone is going to be super important. I'm very curious as well who ends up trying to control terminal here, because there will be a lot of teams that move through terminal to try and access the south side of the map, and whether you're picking up those kills or betting on a terminal pull, both of which are totally reasonable, you're going to have a bit of a different read than everyone else. Not many teams will want to bunker down and play defensive like that, but there's a chance. There's an outside chance.
I call terminal the don't pull up zone, because you know that's where everybody is going to be waiting to gatekeep you on a rotate through the middle part of Olympus. But with so many teams, with obviously the evacs, some of these teams rocking the Valkyrie and the Skyward Dive, we can expect these squads to fly in from above. I've seen a circle like this also pull towards the outskirts of Solar Array on the no-name lot that is north of Bonsai that plays off the low ground. And if you have a Watson, a Catalyst, any of these control legends, obviously you could definitely bunker down in a building like that. But more importantly, I'm thinking the Watson with the gen, with the amount of fuses that we've also been able to see.
Ooh, yeah, it's true, it's true. I mean, Watson's getting a lot of value right now. I know that, not to call out a region of the ALGS, but APAC South has specifically been really hyped on Watson Fuse and the way that those two counter and play off each other. I also want to shout this out. Somebody go scout this. Team Imperial Hal was rotating through the map. I saw it on my map feed. By using the Wraith portal that's right through the center of everything, they were picking up loot that way. Someone go in there and figure out what the comms are. What is the game plan for Team Imperial Hal right now?
To be a fly on the wall right now. From us, Dia. From us to be able to see what's going on over there. We're going to have to check it out later as more teams like Team It's Timmy also playing on the outskirts of Terminal, opting to maybe rotate off the south side by Grow, on the direction from Grow, but man, losing out on 2 already. Aprizi now having to back away in time alongside Snipe Down, but 15 squads still left, even if they lose out on 2.
It's a nice thermite. Covers the whole door, and Brianna does wait this out, likely meaning that you're not going to be able to chase down the full squad. Good enough, I will say. 2 kills are going to mean quite a bit, as you are trying to make your way as well off of Blue Evos as a squad. And moving from Fight Night into Turbine, you've got things like a survey beacon you can hit to find out where this duo, rather this remaining duo from Team Snipe Down is. Team Zainu, bunkering down in Terminal. They have, Vicky, committed the sin of pulling up.
Oh, I want to give the update there too that Aprizi was able to go to docks deep in circle and use the replicator there, since there wasn't a replicator on their rotate into the next circle to prevent, as a 2-man, getting called out by the squad that was able to take 2 of their members out. So as Uri's squad rotates through Turbine, at least Snipe Down's team were able to get the banner. So that's something to note as the game goes on, with all of our squads still alive, obviously, and waiting out the outskirts of the different side of Turbine. Rain Day Squad and company are going to be able to bunker down with the rampart walls.
You were talking about Phase Driver earlier. This is really the place to be, whether it be loot or not. I actually suspect the loot here is a little bit worse with 4 people, because it is a pretty small POI, but I'm rambling now, and what we got to focus on is the fact that Team Saucer are currently sat in here with another squad passing them by, and that is what's really lighting this POI up right now.
Wonder if Phase Driver gonna be able to get a little testy if you want to call in some loot. Don't expect that though with so many teams probably in the middle of their rotate out of hydroponics. See some shots with Saucer on the left side with the G7 ready to go. No iron sights. I know that is absolutely psychotic, but instead he's got that 2x4, my second favorite sight out here to rock with the G7. Zero Love already getting that purple Evo, but with them holding this side here and the circle still pulling on the outskirts of Bonsai, they're gonna have to start moving soon, and D Jenga are waiting for them on the high ground.
All of the bunker going down. Team Saucer really are playing this one quite slow, evaluating their options, and I think trying to force a situation where they're the ones to move second, relying perhaps on the team not clearing their backs in front of them. A couple different ways you can make this work. It is going to be a little tough, but I like the way the Saucer is playing things. Slow for right now. Don't have to do too much. Even a team like Team Dropped, who are moving just now through Icarus, don't have too much to worry about with smokes to cover their retreat and still technically being inside of next zone. You could honestly forfeit a lot of engagements and play for placement instead, because placement is really what matters here, Vicky. Placement's what's getting you into the top couple of squads, the prized positions. Kills are not a factor there.
Exactly, because in every game, you're in the money once you're in the top 6, right? In 6th to 5th place, you get $400. If you get the dub, that is $2,800 breakdown. Even if you aren't kill leader, kill leaders are $500 per player. So focusing on getting those placements per game and considering that this is game number 4 with 2 more games left, that is extra money that you could be pocketing here. And if you just decide to play it slow, play for positioning, like we currently see Clara holding onto the high ground, noting that there is a team inside.
Doing a lot of the good scouting work for the squad. Clara should be able to hold a lot of space given that she's got high ground and have good comms as well. Bonsai is a spot where you can actually manage a lot of the surrounding area even as Team Reptar fly in above. Team Reps with control of this high ground are setting themselves up for another very good game, even if it isn't a first place, Vicky. You could get really close with a position like this that is overlooking so much of the zone.
It's great, too, because you get to contest a lot of teammates that are going to have to now coming in from the outskirts of that circle, coming in from the north side where you're basically just sitting in the dark once that next circle pull happens, and you're out in the open between the bridge and the rest of the squads and the POI to their south. But the one lot that I was looking at, Dia, look at where We the People is positioned. That north side of Bonsai Plaza. If that circle ends up completely shifting over on top of them, that's going to be where the chaos happens here, where a lot of teams could coexist.
That could be really crazy. I mean, Solar Array is already lit up with squads. Each having a building right now is only a temporary thing. Third parties are going to light up Solar Array as soon as a singular fight kicks off. North side of the map. As everyone rotating through, this actually looks all right. As I was wondering how Team Verhulst would make their way in. It seems that taking a little bit of the gas and then making their way into Bonsai Plaza proper is a totally feasible situation, and they've even got an evac going down.
Great timing, too, because I believe it was Team Reptar that was originally here by Bonsai that had already taken their own evac to find their spot over by Solar, so seeing what they could do. They called in the Lifeline Care Pack as they take their time, but it's the same plan here. Evo Cash for anybody that picks up a red Evo if they have enough charge, while more teams looking like they're taken to the sky on an evac tower.
Wonder what's going to happen on the inside of Terminal as well. We saw Team Zainu rotate in earlier, and they're ultimately going to have just a little bit of space to play, even less now that we're seeing a team like Saucer rotate in ahead of them. Now with a fight on two fronts. One squad ahead, one behind. Vifei goes down. Doki Bird, quick tap is going to get Vifei back into the game, but the huge nade cancels the res entirely. This is very bad. Vifei's getting thirsted. Another squad is rolling up behind them, and even with Lifeline, Vifei barely gets back into the game. Again goes down. You just can't catch a break. No, Watson means that these nades cannot be stopped.
Oh, it's like they're in the circus, literally juggling through these different nades, and you're caught between two different teams. After getting that initial lock, they move in. Vifei gets finished off. Timmy has another arc star now onto Doki. There's the finisher that we were expecting, but they're not giving up this spot here too, because look at the attachments that Samurai is working with. Circle closing in, and they're still playing on the edge of this circle.
Samurai's looking for a few more of those kills. The finish with Timmy on Doki Bird does mean that you've got at most one person back here. As I didn't actually see that squad elimination go through. That's an interesting note. Still 15 squads left. At least one solo has survived. We'll wonder what'll happen over here, however, as things in Bonsai are looking mighty spicy. Team Reps has rolled up again. It's Deridium that has fallen to open things up. Bullet needing to get out and does have a grapple to do so. Does not, however, panic. Re-wraps this wall with a Havoc and picks up Verholst immediately. Grappling on out of here and playing the opposite side of the wall.
It's the script that writes itself. It's Team Verholst versus Team Reps that had gone for a very similar rotate outside of Bonsai here. They managed to stay alive for now, but feeling the pressure of the circle, seeing with the replicator being on the edge there of Bonsai, maybe they can make some magic happen. But the fighting has not stopped here on this north side too. See if it looks like they may have a gold knock to work with, but at least they have the Watson Gen for some safety.
Team Stay Naughty manages to survive for now. They do have Sheila, which could change everything. Grandma forfeit, what's she gonna do? Does not find a lot of purchase initially, gets double swung, this is bad. Giggle swings out on Lifeline, could still make this happen, ducks into the corner, is getting everyone back up. Erica's in the game, Doc is doing work, Erica goes down, Giggle has fallen, it's just Naughty left, and no! Team Naughty will go down, what a last stand in the corner.
When I saw the Lifeline get up, it was possible. That was so possible. The gen being right there, the Lifeline care package, but everybody is looking at you. The pressure was too much. 12 squads left, and Team It's Timmy have now made their way on top of this platform.
We talked about control of Terminal being pivotal earlier. The fact that Team Timmy has managed to take this could be game deciding. 12 squads left. Can they take out another? Let's jump into a listen-in with Team Timmy.
Damage. Watch out on that kid you're grappling on. He's so weak. He might have popped.
He jumped down. You have to worry about zone. You have to worry about zone. You have to worry about zone.
You want me to go back to me?
They're gonna die. They're gonna die. We need to go left.
Okay.
Put this team right here.
I knocked them again. They're dead.
Smoke this team right here.
I'm smoking.
We need to go.
Okay.
We need to go left. We need to go left. Fight them right here.
There's a team here, yeah. No, ult
Yeah,
yet.
fight this guy. Walk up and fight this.
I need to pop a bat here. I'm literally one.
I'm Timmy.
I'm bang ulting for you guys.
Okay, I can one.
Tap, if you can. That's my bang ult.
Knocked one.
Nice.
Nice. Come to me if you can.
No, I'm dead here. I played that real
I
bad.
couldn't see her, bruh. Behind you, Timmy. There's a Bangalore. Right here on my ping.
I'm just standing to everybody else.
I
The
got
rampage just
stamped by
does the
everybody.
kill.
Just a few too many squads, Vicky. Just a few too many squads. Great comes in, sweeps up a couple of kills, and that's all that's left of Team Timmy.
I mean, Timmy literally looking in every direction. There's only so much you could do, and there's so many different angles you have to cover. Now we get to see the trio that is left from Team Reps, as Iridium is down again first, but they've come back from worse here. 8 squads left after taking the dub in the last game and now playing off this low ground. Teams coexisting in the building right next to them. Imperial Howe and company are sharing that with Zach Mazer. But this circle deal is pulling in between all 3 buildings in solar.
Wow. This is a real tough zone, honestly. Looking at this, playing low ground might not actually be terrible. If you want, taking the basements of the buildings in solar array could work out for a few of our squads, especially if you're playing the Outlast game, as again, placement is the most important. Kills look good, kills are good, and they're fun, but they're not going to win you this game alone. You're going to have to use some pretty smart positioning if you want to get the 2,800 for this match.
Exactly, and you have to consider first and second place, it may as well be an $800 money match, all right? That's the stakes that I get to see. And Dropped is still alive, but Bullet, he pokes outside for a second, and he gets melted by Aura. Now seeing they can get the res here, thankfully Clara still being on that lifeline, it's going to not only get the res, but also set down the drone with that gold knock coming in clutch.
try and block the door, interestingly. Watching the way the respawn beacon comes down, or does not in this case. The fact that Bullet is back, however, and real in this building, does give them a fighting chance, especially as we've just got one member left of Team Zach Mazer. See how long that lasts. 8 squads left. Girl takes down Greek in the kill feed, while Clara looks for angles and finds this Gibby bubble. Could be the go button for Team Reps as in comes Bullet L. Again, playing the role of the fragger on this Pathfinder. Opens things up well for the squad. Cracks for Flesh on the other side. And unfortunately for Leo, that's all she wrote. Bullet has done his work. Team Shrevstacks goes down. 7 squads left.
And knowing with Trevstacks going down that the other team has now moved in for free. The trio now trying to find an angle. I believe it's House Squad on the other side here with Revs going to be able to jump right over the barrier. They get the knock right afterwards. House Squad stuck in the corner with now only Revs being the fully healthy one. Bullet does get the shield swap, but with the Motherlode coming in, they swing in.
Oh my god, he got that.
It's not going to be enough.
Oh my god, he got
6
that.
squads left and Revs is still alive.
I cannot believe you got that shield swap. It's actually saved Team Reps, who now get the chance to reset for just a little while. I think they're going to be able to pick up Bullet here, but no finish on the kill. If you can grab Clara, this gives you a whole new lease on life. Being pushed by 2 with no more ult. Reps is going to head for the hills, try and survive inside this building. A G7 and nothing more means that Team Reps will go down, but it was so hard fought, Vicky.
It was, and he had melted them with the hip fire and the G7, but it's just at that point, too, you had lost out on your shield, even after going through those multiple shield swaps, and you only find yourself stuck in a corner in a 1v3. They get taken out here. Hambino squad have now taken over the building, and on the other side, Drop's team that made this patient rotate still alive. The sole survivors on this side of this building, but you know, there is a low ground here, and they do get scanned, so they've noted that there's another team that's playing off that low ground that could actually appear from the middle part as the solo has been called out.
We are in those prizing areas now, Vicky. You talked about the money match between first and second. Every single place you advance means more for you and your team. Dropped, certainly with a fantastic angle up here. He is contributing to that. The battle for the low ground starts now. This could be game-changing. It will be, Vicky, game-changing, as this fight for low ground will give only one team the opportunity to last into third place.
Oh, 4 squads left. Knock, knock. It's Therese with the Sheila. Finding another knock for Hulse's team. They finally get eliminated. It was Bree who was alive for so long as a solo. They're going to look to see if they could get Therese res. Thankfully, with Wings being on the lifeline, they will. And the gold knock. But they're finally going to collapse on one another with the circle closing in behind their back.
Brianna's got a frag. Brianna throw the frag. Brianna throw the frag. She's gonna go down. This is tragic. Melanie still alive as everybody piles in from above. Team Dropped has noticed the action. Shows up to clean up the kills. Drum gonna drop down to the low ground. Try and finish this squad off. 2 teams left, and it is Team Dropped who, finding the last kill on the low ground, will win the game.
Patience coming through for Team Drop. They held that building for so long. We kept highlighting their patient rotation there too. They knew the teams coming in from the north side of that circle dia were inevitably going to rotate in their line of sight. The kills came to them, and they take the clutch and win game number 4. What we've seen so far work, though, the lifeline, the Bangalore, the fuse putting on all the extra pressure, which works great. Even if the lifeline on the other side happens to have a gold knock, the extra damage from the knuckle clusters could be the nail in the coffin to get the re-knock.
I mean, first match on Broken Moon certainly does give an edge to teams that already have that figured out, and players that have been sitting on those legends for a while. When you're talking about Fuse and the value that provides to a team like Reps is going to get a big advantage here. Double Rampart squads already dropping down into the quarantine zone. Timmy is down. We'll see what Asian boy Tifa Jessie and She Is Boogie can do about this, all swinging the same doorway, and Tifa's got plenty of sustain right now. Rampart walls on the doorways are massive. Huge crack through here. Let's She Is Boogie pop through just like the Boogeyman, but does not find a kill. Instead, it's Asian boy that picks up Casellos, and everybody's resetting. Inside, another not going to go down. Casellos is being picked up. Shrevstacks is down. Can Leo the Lion hold it together for the squad, even as these doors are so difficult to maintain control of?
Oh, I know everyone was waiting by the door, so sometimes the same button to try to get the res opens up that door, so it was a little scary, but both sides were so low at the very beginning. Dia trade on each side, the reset comes in, but it's Timmy who got finished earlier on. The trade again, Leo gets knocked, but Asian Boy with Loki Ross coming in slides in, and it's Timmy's team is the first to go in this lobby.
Crazy how many iterations that fight went through, but on the way out, man, did they do damage. Team Shrevstacks able to pick up quite a bit of it as well, leaving them just on blue shields, but significantly further up, especially with the amount of reses they were able to pull off in that fight. And I'm looking at the map, I'm not seeing any third parties come in, so you got all the quarantine zone to yourself, and, well, Greek. And green.
He needs an Evil Harvester. I like the plan out here, but I do want to highlight with now looking at where the circle was pulling, that was such a great, just plain 4v4 example of a pacing of a fight off the rip when it comes to some of these contests and what you could leave behind, because now we currently see Team Casellos and Trevstacks, they have the survey beacon, they have the ring console, but that fight was far from clean. It was knocks on both sides, having the lifeline there being a huge difference maker for both teams, because imagine how long it would take to try to reset, even though Timmy was dirtied, and for everybody else to at least get Doc's heal up. So now other teams are finally going to make their rotate in, but that took a while for a fight.
And credit to Asian Boy Tifa Jessie and She Is Boogie for making that such an ridiculously close fight when it was basically 3v4 the entire time. We're going to see likely another fight kick off here with a lot of already time, damage in. I'm expecting Team Shrevstacks to group up real quickly as they should have scouted already this move into quarantine zone. They are no longer alone. It's looking dicey. I'm not sure whether they'll be able to. There we go. See this? Scout it out. Confusing Cutie gonna dip back. Shout out to Confusing Cutie, a fellow Bay Area homie, cosplayer and picked up by Hall of Fame earlier this year. I think I actually... Vicky, I'm not sure, because I didn't get that much time to walk around at Split 1 playoffs, but I think I saw Confusing Cutie there. A lot of our content creators actually had the chance to attend at the playoffs in LA.
That was awesome. Yeah, I do believe so. It was great to see so many people make their way over to LA to attend LAN in person, and now being able to see them play out in our quads tournament with their rotates coming in, with so many other squads showing their appearance here in the middle part of Broken Moon. Cannot be disappointed here, but while they do take that zip line, the fight is happening from right underneath them. We do note that there was an Evil Harvester nearby that we saw Greek actually hone into at the end of that first fight that we witnessed.
Now everybody's rejoined. Greek was like, hey, this place actually seems pretty chill. We can rotate through here, and now has brought everyone with him. Team Hambino with the Pathfinder speeding up their rotations. I will say, of all of the maps to have a Pathfinder on to speed up your rotations, Broken Moon is the one with the most inherent zip lines that you probably didn't need it on.
That's true, actually. I mean, unless you want to try to prioritize getting up these slopes even faster here, or, of course, seeing what the fuse has been utilized in the past now, what you could do with the ring consoles, just being able to get ahead if you're not trying to run a control legend, trying to play a lot more hyper-aggressive, and instead try to substitute a support legend so that way they could cover your back if you just try to entry frag and ape. So we see more of these teams. Look at this. If it's not the evac tower, it's the zip lines around Broken Moon all the way around to find your spot into some of these buildings.
Oh my god, like the amount of squads that are sitting up towards the northwest side of the ring. Getting real difficult. Snipe down, picking up the Valkyrie this time around. Will they actually make this? Yes, everybody gets in. And gets out just in time. Smoke covering for long enough that the ult was not cancelled. Snipe should be able to pilot the team to the other side of this hill. And a little bit of loot there as well. Should not do them poorly. Almost knocking Snipe down would have been disastrous. I gotta be real.
I was definitely scared because it sounded like he got hit with a sentinel at first, and then they still started hitting him on his descent. But with the Valkyrie perk and being able to cross even more distance on the apex of the Skyward Dive, they did find themselves around the mountain, and we did highlight that being a very important factor going into a new map like Broken Moon on the different teams that these players have been situated in.
I really like the way that people are using Rampart as well. This squad, actually, funnily enough, not using the Rampart, but definitely benefiting from the walls. A little bit of sloppy Rampart play has left them with plenty more cover than they would otherwise have. But it'll do well for Team Zach Mazer, who's now got a nice spot to play. And taking a look at the upper left corner, this seems to be where the zone is pulling, right into Dry Gulch.
So many different teams have already made their way into some of these buildings. See Bullet, bunker down. You mentioned the Rampart earlier on, but no Rampart. Rather, Neomoka is here, but no other Rampart around them that they could really worry about here other than the other side. But there's so much space to coexist here. They see a potential third party maybe in the distance, but they're not going to be giving up this space anytime soon, especially when they can bunker down here.
Makes me wish people were running crypto, actually, now that I see this. How valuable would that be in a spot like this? It's already been really difficult to break down a lot of the literal barriers that are being put up by teams with Rampart, and even squads that are running Watson as well. So maybe a bit of theory crafting, opening things up for game number 6. But for game 5, everybody seems to be pretty chilled out. Nobody even keen on sharing space. I'm noticing that Team Hal has held this building for quite a while. They've got enough time for Neomoka to reset up all the amped cover. And as much as they know there's a squad just ahead of them, nobody's getting particularly aggressive.
Now they're just going to be waiting here patiently because they know that other teams will inevitably wrap behind that squad across from Hal's team. And even better to make sure that their backs are cleared with the circle closing in the next 35 seconds, although it is a second circle, so people could afford to take some circle pressure if they do decide to wrap around behind them. More teams now coming in as well from core. We have to note from that north side of the circle. Even from production yard. Yeah, I know that Saucer is going to be rotating from that side alongside Team Casellos. I love this little overhead now that you see where the circle's pulling. But so many teams stuck on the edge of the circle.
I really wonder what's going to go down with Team Snipe Down. Remember, we saw them take a Valcult earlier all the way into this low side of Ring, and it doesn't look like the zone is pulling to them, but at the same time, you got to imagine they're under a lot less pressure than other squads that are further away on faster sides of the zone. Will this actually work out for them? Was the early rotate worth it, or does it just put them in a really tight position?
Something to look out for, actually. Especially now as they're going to be able to wrap down, slide down. And it's a team waiting for them on the other side of the bunker doors. They do have ring console information thanks to Daz being on that Watson. They do have the Fuse Samurai, obviously could do the same thing here, but it's about planning out where they want to go to, if they have to force a fight, or if they want to wrap up from the north side, and it does look like that's going to be what they're opting to do.
Running Sword and Shield. Normally we'll see teams either pick, especially in trios, between Watson or Fuse. Running both of them, you are getting so much benefit. I do wonder how it'll work, as things like global mobility are missing from this team. Verhulst, with smokes, is the only one that can cover micro rotations. Other than that, you're relying on evac towers, and as we already saw from Snipe, people are plenty used to taking chunks out of you in the sky.
Yeah, if it isn't the evac tower, it's out of the Skyward Dive here. Not going to be the case, at least for this team comp, but I do like the decision to wrap fully around from the pings that you're seeing on the minimap here. The team deciding to now pass through the replicator, get any extra meds that they may need, means that going through that choke that's up to their north, that leads into core, they're going to be met with two other teams playing on the outskirts of the other side of this mountain as they're approaching one other squad right now. I believe this is going to be team dropped.
And Teams Dropped does not have a height advantage here. Far from it. They are going to try and contest for the little bit of space that you can up on high ground, but I don't like this fight, and it doesn't look like they do either. Team Dropped disengage, moving down onto the low ground. And well, this doesn't look particularly great for them. Verhulst doing a lot of work right now. Feels confident enough to open things up and send it onto the low ground. They've taken control of the tops of these buildings. Can they turn it into a few kills, or is this just going to attract attention? Because we've got Janie off here on the side, waiting for her chance to pick up more kills and rocket up the leaderboard.
And by the choke, by the way, is also Team Reptar. So not even just a third party, but an inevitable fourth party here too. As Samurai Sky trying to also give some suppressed fire to Verhulst to help enable him push into this building. They've claimed height now. They completely have forced them to just tunnel inside of these buildings, and that has allowed the counter rotate. We were waiting for the third party, and now they've moved into the roof.
Janie is ready. 300 damage, not a kill yet. Newcastle wall will keep you from getting into the building, so it really is the best decision to focus on the outside. A quick hit for 88. Janie's going to get aggressive. Can she actually find a knock here? Because it would be disastrous for Team Verhulst.
It'd be better for Janie out here because she's within the top 4 kill leaders, and we still have 2 more games to go. This one including leaves only game number 6, so they want to take advantage of this. Maybe Janie getting into a much more aggressive spot. Winx taking a lot of damage, but they're safely inside this building, and Rain Day to pay homage to Dia, trying to get the Sheila to work, but he gets absolutely fried by a Whoop on the Hemlock.
That's my king right there. That's my king. He's going to get back into the game. Rain Day, he's got a little bit more for us. This Newcastle wall providing lots of safety, but man, have they been put in a tough spot. Team dropped, getting pushed first by Team Verhulst, and now with Team Awope inheriting that push, it certainly caused a lot of problems. Yes, Janie, yes. Taking the efficient way to move out the rampart. I've seen people shooting them to try and unseat these. Janie pushes up onto the high ground, does get out with the Pathfinder, but now a bit of a tight spot.
Man, but you got some suppressed fire with the Sheila, putting in some extra pressure, forcing them to back away and respect. I love the way that they're shoulder to shoulder right now. Janie grapples in, but huge Sky Nade. Ooh,
oh my god.
In, but it's a trade for trade on both sides here, Dia, and the Newcastle only has a white knockdown.
Trying to chew through this shield with the rampart does not quite work. Team Dropped, however, do go down to a combination of squads, as it's Team Verhulst that came back in to serve up the third party. Resets happened on the other side, however. We saw that Newcastle, and now it's Dax that tries to control the high ground. Clara backing them up. Team Verhulst can take control of this engagement, but have they waited too long? The resets, having already gone down, look like it's too far.
They hear it happening. They hear them getting set up with the rampart walls here as they both drop down. Havoc's in hand. No turbo necessary. Looking at the Sheila, though, they were already broken. Raw Swagger gets taken down immediately, though. 12 squads left, and Verhulst is clearing up this building.
Just Verhulst doing Verhulst things. That amount of damage, inhuman. Dax sends it forward, does not hit with the PK, though. Clara's got to back him up, and she goes down. This is bad. Verhulst down to just he and Samurai Sky, who's also, by the way, in the running for one of our kill leaders, but up against Janie, who's going to come out.
The bread on the other side of the sandwich. Trevstack's team gets eliminated in your feeds, and Samurai Sky is so low, looking to get the shield top potential here on the death box, but closing in the distance. Awope does not let Team Verhulst get away. Janie with another kill to add to the stake.
Nice tally on the board, moving her further up the standings. Janie was sitting at 12 kills, now gets ever closer to the record that Naughty currently holds at 17 over the course of the day. Reps definitely in that running as well. Has already picked up 3 kills and isn't even the kill leader. What is happening in this lobby?
I love the changes of Broken Moon. It's been fantastic, and working hand in hand with quads too. Look at this, 9 squads left, and we talked about Dry Gold from the very beginning. House team holding down one building from the very beginning. Zach Mazur's squad on the other. They were looking at each other in a standoff, and look at the teams on the outskirts here. And with the lifeline, these care packages giving them even more cover to work with as they inch closer.
Double amped cover, providing a bit of safety, but it doesn't last. Especially when you're not firing back. It's difficult to hold on to a spot like this. How? I don't even know what that was. Immediate shot. And it's Janie that goes down? Team Awope falling right there? somehow having made their way into Dry Gulch. Unfortunately, does not go well for them, so she will just pick up that singular kill this game. A bit rough to see them fall like that.
I mean, it was just a really, really rough rotate. With how long that fight went, when there was 3 different teams to deal with, unfortunately, they fell in the middle of their rotate. As we get set up, snipe down on the back end, we saw them take the Skyward dive just to get into this position. Let's jump into a listen as they make their rotate into that next circle.
Yeah, look, we have beacons.
Be careful on this bridge because of the team inside.
Rain here, rain on me, Snipe.
No one's on this. I think we walk up here and take it.
Oh,
yeah, go with them, go with them.
Yeah,
Come with them, come with them.
there is.
We're just gonna have to watch it right here.
Moving up.
I got leads on
Yep.
this.
Careful, Snipe, come back. I can't smoke for you, I'm silent.
I'm fucking them up.
Alright, I'm placing Jay around this corner here.
Ping? Oh. I'm with you.
One's down, careful, Snipe.
I'm good.
You're one. I'm gonna trade
I have
places
drone here,
with you.
I have drone.
Yeah, I'm just healing.
Here.
They're down.
Where were you fighting them at?
We don't need to do. They're right around the corners. They're behind us.
Wait.
Okay.
I think we need to push up for our back here.
Kill them.
Nice.
Nice. There's 2 Darcy here. You can get a fin. In my corner.
Oh no, Rampart, look at me.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Back up a bit.
One,
Back up a
I
bit.
killed Rampart dead.
Okay,
I might
okay.
be resible.
I'm rezzing.
There might be another team.
Watch
You
top right.
need to set up,
Watch top right,
the moment you get her up.
Okay.
There might be another.
That was a pretty nice fight. That was a very well orchestrated fight even. Deridium with some solid shot calls to get everybody on the same page and keep up the pressure. That call of I'm swapping places with you. Really critical in continuing to keep a squad down. Looks like the same thing's happening for Naughty though. Another kill. 7 kills this game, Vicky. Naughty is a monster.
And that's with Naughty being in the #1 spot for kill leader already. It's Team Reps fall. 5 squads remain. And Team Snipedown, as we saw, in an amazing spot to play off the low ground. And not just that, the fence line keeping them out of sight of these teams right now that are fighting.
Looking good for Howl as well. Lots of cover with these rampart walls, and honestly, taking a look at the way that the quads has played out so far, I'm thinking about its applications to competitive, right? What's sitting on the edge of the meta? I am absolutely convinced if we had room for one more legend in comp, a lot of people are picking up Rampart. She has been so valuable in these games.
Rampart, the lifelines here too, the 2 more consistent variables that we've seen in all of these different squads. Snipedown being the only one, by the way, in with the Valkyrie here, and playing off the other side of the slip with the Rampart and these different walls. You can see on the other side, Girl doing the exact same thing.
This spot, pretty hard to hold down. Low ground does rely on other teams, like Hal's team, covering for you. And sitting in this corner, there's just not a lot of sight lines. Team Zach Mazer has held on to height for a long time, but it'll be they and Team Hal that have to exit at the same time. And down comes Team Hal, doing quite a bit of damage initially. There's a lifeline res going on. Can anybody back him up? Niamoka and Bullet L are on single-digit HP. Nia's gonna get taken down. We do have Grandma Forfeit hitting the reset. This might be enough to save them. She's eaten up the heals from Doc. Niamoka and Bullet L are back into the game, but still so far from being able to clutch this up.
But there was a rift in the comms from Team How. He had pushed the squad stuck in a corner. He needed one more player to start focus firing here, but Bullet being alive is huge because now they are in the top 4. It is all about the placement money, and he's duking it out against Stay Naughty. That's on the other side here too. Well, the fight does not stop. Stay Naughty comes out on top, and now they're going to be able to focus up as Bullet gets away in front of the fray. Here, Hal's team goes down. 3 squads left, and Zach Mazer has the height.
He wants to work that Mazer magic, does a lot of damage initially, but everything off the L-Star does not connect. Just a few seconds on this zone, but somehow Team Zach Mazer has held on to an unchallenged high ground. Confusing Cutie's been thrown out nade after nade, but now has no ordinances left. It's all about keeping these last 2 squads together. Sky needs connect! But off the res out of Confusing Cutie, Giggle is back into the game. So is Miss Lauren. Just waiting out the rest of the lobby. They've got this. Surely they got this, Vicky.
Oh, free pickings here for Giggle. She sees it all into the open arms of Zach Mazer's squad. They are looking for the dub. Last player left, and it's just a matter of time for them to take the dub, winning game number 5. Patient play coming in from Zach Mazer's team, as they were the other team across the lot of Dry Gulch, looking at Team How before they push into that final circle, Dia.
Our instincts were correct, Vicky. That's all I'm saying. When we saw the rosters moving into this game, we called out Team Zach Mazer as having one of the scariest squads on the map. Broken Moon, Game 1 certainly does belong to them, and in very, very controlled fashion. I did not see a way for anyone else to be able to contest that high ground with the way that they were using their picks, especially the Watson and Lifeline to constantly reset. Lauren and Confusing Cutie holding down the literal fort that was created, while Zach Mazer and Gigalottum were constantly...
An extra $2,800 for our winner of our last game, as well as solidify our overall top 4 kill leaders from the course of these last 6 games.
Yeah, this one is going to be a real tight race to the top. I do wonder, can anybody match what Naughty was able to do to the lobby last game, picking up so many kills in such a short amount of time? We do return. I'm seeing some Alter here, which is a very nice pickup on Broken Moon. Lots of utility to be found with somebody like Alter, especially on this map, where a lot of times you do really have one exit, one entrance into wherever you're trying to siege.
So true, especially when you get to go onto the quick high ground here. I like the different off angle that Casello's holding, trying to line up that charged up Sentinel shot. He's going to be able to land its mark here. But look at this split space that this team is taking right now, holding each side of the middle portion of this spot to prevent these teams from trying to take a different angle to try to isolate one member from Trev Stack's team.
Everybody really playing, actually, in contrast to last game, quite passive. Not getting all up in each other's faces in the central building. Nice crack from Casellas. It's not going to result in a push. Yet. Was that a knock? Was that a knock? I think it might have been. And it was. No. And it was a knock on the Lifeline. Can't believe that happened.
Oh my gosh, we're already with the volatile start here. Let's jump into a listening with Timmy as they struggle to see if they can reset.
I built a route one.
You break that shield?
I'm trying. Broke the other one?
I'm still slow healing, I'm so sorry.
Play somewhat like close here.
Yeah, I'm coming back a little bit.
I have your cross. Did you guys play left together? Play left together.
Yep. I fused ult. Do we have a balloon?
No balloon.
One guy on me.
Right here on door. I'm running too.
They might aim me here.
They're all swinging.
I cracked the ultra.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get to him.
We need to get to Timmy. We need to get to Timmy.
I'm good.
One weak. I'm joining. One close. It's a Loba.
Knocked one.
Nice.
Here, close, pushing you.
On me.
I'm in.
Dead. Juice.
Rapper.
I'm grabbing on my swap.
On me.
One club one.
On me.
Got it.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
The sigh of relief, Dia, coming through from the whole team after they come in clutch with that fight.
That was so tense, actually. I'm holding my breath through that fight, even more so than in the previous game, and they don't have a lot of time to recover either. Check out Team Imperial Hal rotating in just behind them. This could cause a lot of problems, as fortunately, it's not going to be the rotation for many squads, but even so, you don't want to get caught off guard.
At least there are some beacons here that these teams could take advantage of, but as you say, Dia, more of these squads are already either in that next circle after scanning that ring console, or coming in from Breaker Wharf. You see the team coming in, Saucer squad coming in from Bionomics. Now going to be able to see how they're going to go into that next circle, because there's already a squad holding that choke that leads out of Hazmat Tunnel.
Using the zips. A nice feature of Broken Moon, and in this particular case, zips that were intentionally added when we talked to the devs over at Split One Playoffs to facilitate safe rotations, not just aggressive ones, through the middle of quarantine zones, so that people have the option to dip in and out and actually find a way to move, as we're seeing Team Imperial Hal do, without taking a fight.
And changing up the different types of chokes that they want to go into that next circle too, right? Because there is Cliffside that we just saw Bullet's team now going through, that south of Stasis array. More of the fighting over here on the outskirts of Terraformer. It's all the heat coming in from the squads that are forced to rotate from the west side of the map, leaving out of quarantine zone like we just saw right now. Aura taking a nice high ground positioning. Love it, having the gold extended heavy mag on that flat line, but also trying to prioritize, do they want to rotate through the Evil Harvester side, expecting another squad to probably holding that spot?
I'm just hoping she doesn't get the short end of the stick again, because last time, Aura was the one that was told to swing and ended up doing it into the Rampart, hoping that she gets to catch a break. And fortunately, with a nice spot like this actually could be the game where you do get back to sit back and relax a little bit. There aren't a lot of teams that are going to push onto low ground. It's not a particularly enviable spot, but with things like Rampart, you can actually make this a holdable space that should be in the end game.
The fact that there's only 5 squads that are outside of where the circle is pulling is crazy. Everybody is coexisting. All remaining squads are coexisting on that next circle. It is crazy. North side of Hazmat, south of Stasis. It is hot out here. As more of these teams now currently see Erica setting up with the ant barriers, having height, very scary, but also being able to have the information on where that circle is pulling to, holding the edge.
Sorcerer doing well to hold up on high ground as well, make sure nobody walks up on them. Everybody's spread out through the majority of Broken Moon right now. Not a whole lot of squad wipes ever since we saw our first in quarantine zone. And I do appreciate that, unlike when we were over on Kings Canyon, the 50-50s really are meaning that you wipe out an entire squad, not 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, you just try to make sure that you also deny the opportunity for more of these teams to try to get those placement points and the cash money that comes along with it. Rep Squad, who has been so consistent, the only team, by the way, to take 2 dubs thus far, talking about Reps alone and the way that they've been able to rotate, didn't have the best time in our first game on Broken Moon in that previous game. And now, coexisting in Terraformer alongside Sorcerer on the other side here, seeing what they could do before they are forced to rotate into a very congested next circle.
And height in Terraformer, blessing and a curse. You love holding it, but it's so easy to get walked up on by another team, especially when your focus is drawn by one like Sorcerer, who's sitting right next to you, constantly throwing bullets, making sure that you cannot and do not have an easy rotate into them. There's plenty of opportunity for somebody to just walk in and suddenly make their existence your problem. I'm thinking of any team that might be coming out of Bionomics as an example, anywhere further south of Terraformer.
Yeah, teams that have been taking their time to rotate that are still inside circle, though. A team, though, that may have wanted to rotate later. Rain Day, I am so sorry. He got absolutely destroyed. One clipped by Hal on the Havoc. Great start here for this fight. The Smokes, though, trying to isolate them before they can try to go in for a reset on the other side, because there's a lot of different split angles you could hold for a fight like this.
Grandma Forfeit getting chunked right now, but it is all about the Rain Day recovery. Can you actually make this work? Push up and grab enough space to get your teammate back into the game. It looks like this is not the only casualty, as Hal was able to clean up Winks earlier. So this small game of tower defense may end up being just that, and not much more that can really be done about it, staving off the inevitable push that it seems like Team Hal is putting on.
You have to be careful in an angle like this. There's still 4 other squads coming in from the north side of Cliffside that could make a presence for a potential 4th party, even 5th party. They're looking to their backs. They're looking to try to take a different off angle, while still not giving up the same exact positioning, because at least to their sides, they have the mountain, so they could work off of the terrain and make sure that they can at least have that side cover if they do want to take that fight.
And check it out, shot in the back, caution goes down. Now, I don't think this was tracked by Team Imperial Hal, but there's only 1 member left standing on the squad in front of them. Wow. We'll see how quickly that squad gets finished off, if at all. Maybe they're able to reset. And speaking of resetting, we've got a serious one going down with the drone pumping health into people. This looks really, honestly, pretty stable as everybody lands in different areas, but we could see a fight brewing as ultimately these squads will have to converge on their next rotate out of stasis array.
And look at the amount of teams that are still trying to see where they could go through, whether it be, do they want to fight from the zipline side of where Hazmat Tunnel leads out? We know that team We the Peeps have taken their time to rotate into this next circle. We said the same thing about Hambino, who have now made their appearance north of Divide, and they've completely avoided the fight that was taking a while between Team Reps and Team Saucer over by Terraformer. So you can see this huge congestion. Whichever team comes out on top from Terraformer, that's going to be a very scary position to play from, because not only are you going to get pinched, but there's little to no cover with the terrain north of Terraformer, especially with the team coming out of Hazmat Tunnel.
You're like fighting for King of the Hill, but then you finally win and you're like, what was this really for? Am I just going to die to a team that's been sitting on low ground and rampart walls for 7 years? It might just be. It might just be. I love that you point out Team Hambino having avoided a lot of this as well. They've actually got a great spot in zone. I really like the way they've maneuvered the macro of Broken Moon, which is a competitively pretty unexplored map.
So it makes it so exciting to see the different pacing on these rotates, especially now that the circle is closing in. Gotta make these calls here. You could play by the edge, but now looking at where the circle pulls and now the squad's over here knowing where that's gonna go, it actually may benefit them inching forward. But to get to this spot early, that's gonna be so scary. If anything, Daze's team being on that north side in a way better spot with Team Verholz, because they have that building bunkered down depending on that composition that they've been rocking.
I'm liking Pathfinder here as well. If you want to try and play some of these rocks that give you height, especially late game, Pathfinder is one of the few legends that will allow your whole team to access that indefinitely and ultimately have less sight lines onto you. We're watching the team from Hazmat rotate in now. Reps takes a few snipes at him, but this isn't going to be too big of a problem. The largest problem is still right in front of you. Saucer and Reps holding each other really in the same spot.
Literally nobody is trying to push the other. And what's even crazy is that with Reps being in that second place spot, for the amount of kills that he's been able to put on the board, 19 kills in total. Saucer has 13. A bit of a difference here, but it matters because Saucer is in that three-way tie that we noted between Janie and Awope. So seeing how they're going to be able to rotate through this, let's jump into a listening with Team Reps as they're looking to jump in with an evac tower.
Right there, right there, right there. So I'm taking the one on the right. Split up.
Evacing as well, 2 down.
Yep. Trying to see. I'm trying to find a playable spot.
People right here.
Right now.
People on the other side right there. People right here.
Maybe here.
She lets him on the right.
I don't really know.
We might be able to play under.
This is horrible. Yeah, we gotta drop down. We gotta drop down.
Fuck.
I'm just dead.
Insane on me.
I'm dead here.
Coming?
No, I'm just fucked.
It's so good. It's so good on me.
Oh my god.
Hey, not anymore. We can maybe reset. Is there any way we save you?
No, someone's down here. Down here, Thursday.
God. I am really enjoying these teams comms, Vicky. This is like that was stellar. I'm gonna remember the grenade sound going off into the oh my god for a while. I want it as a text tone.
I felt betrayed. It's safe on me as the nade blows up at their feet. That was fantastic. But they found a spot, and that was with Rep saying, I don't know, totally freeballing where he was going to land, and they still at least found a corner by those crates. We have to check in with them later, as 13 squads are still left, and Timmy's looking to try to rotate with a squad pressuring them from height.
What is going on here? Are we thinking about taking the zip through zone? I mean, this could work, but it's kind of crazy, Vicky. Timmy, gonna be the one that takes this first. Grandma Forfeit and Nia watching over it, aren't able to stop the rotate. And you take a bit of zone damage, but I think they might make it. They make it.
Wow. The beauty of Broken Moon and the zip lines with these rotates, that's huge. I mean, even with the Lifeline Doctrine, he's going to be healing up now just so that way everybody else on the team could try to get their own split of extra health. 11 squads left, but they are safe within this rotate, which is crazy because once they wrap around you, they're gonna have to be met with Team Imperial Hal, who knows that they are by that choke.
Yeah, you will have heard the zip lines, and that is the disadvantage of making a rotation like this, is that those are pretty loud, as you do want to know when somebody's rolling up on you. Hal does do an effective job of putting down some initial damage onto Team Timmy. And with the high ground, could do a lot more. This thermite really working as well. Heat shield gonna go down, giving you a very limited time to get out of the zone. And let's not forget that where Hal's at, that isn't it either. You have got to go very deep into the zone, take a lot of damage as Team Timmy.
And we gotta talk about the fact that he also has 2 KP when he had 12 total kills over the course of these games behind the 3-way tie that we mentioned before. So he is looking not only to stay alive, but if he could clean up that team that's stuck in a corner, even better. Huge damage though. It has to be sniped down. Yup, it is. Team snipe down, get eliminated. Add another head to the stake here for Hal. Maybe even a 4th, the Wope jumping out of the circle.
Surely,
he said, let me have it.
Surely a Wope does not survive. He's still alive somehow. Hal's chasing this down. Not going to let a Wope go, but I don't even know where he will have gone at this point. And right now, Imperial Hal has got bigger problems. 10 squads left. The ring closes in, and finally, they will go down. Team Hambino does fall.
Actually crazy. Prevents the res from coming in onto Giggle. Cleaning up another kill, though. The high ground going in favor to now Team Hal, but they're getting contested on the platform by another team, losing out on their lifeline. They're going to try to capitalize off of that, but they're fighting 2 different teams.
Imperial Hal manages to trade one out. Miss Lauren does not get the knock either and is now isolated on the low ground. It looks like Naughty and Zip are still alive and are moving up to height. They'll be able to overlook all of this, all of the Hal confusing drama that's going down over here. Timmy holding on to a little bit of height as well, and in the fuse fire. Can't not be seen. Will commit onto the low ground. And it looks like, weirdly enough, Team Timmy are the ones who, from the gas, got out of this.
They forced their way. They clawed their way outside the circle where they were pinched. Let's not forget the thermite that Hal threw in that corner. Timmy not only resets with the rest of his squad, but they also get the knock onto Hal. Timmy with the sentinel shot. A Wope is still somehow alive on the low ground after breaking Hal's ankles and getting away. And the fight has just not stopped for any of the teams that were not expecting to make it into that next circle.
It looks like Verholst does a solo down here as well. Coordinating with the rest of the squad, if at all. No, partnered instead with Clara up on high ground.
No way, they don't know. Oh, Bullet is right behind Timmy right now as a solo. There's like 3 different solos happening. Verholst got called out. 8 squads left. And they are now controlled
they found
the high ground. There's Bullet. He tried to peek out, and right before he drops down, he gets called out with the circle closing, and he had no other choice. They would have seen him nonetheless.
Well, that's going to be it for Team Imperial Hal in our last game of the day. 7 squads left. It sounds like a lot, but really, Vicky, we know it ain't much with the amount of people that are already down. Clara and Samurai Sky are going to fall. And these 7 should be ticking down to 6, especially as a lot of our lifelines start to fall. Verholst is eliminated. A Wope. Team Reps goes down. Not going to collect a 3rd win today.
I just can't believe we got to see what Heat Shields could do in a comp situation, yo. We got to see it right here because it is now allowed Team It's Timmy to sit exactly in this spot. But can they hold it down with only the lifeline care package on both sides to give them the cover that they need?
This is like no cover and somehow all of the cover. It can't be destroyed, but man, does it not give you a lot of room to maneuver. And I'm not seeing Team Naughty giving up on that either. A whole res just went off on the low ground, so these 4 squads should actually be full squads moving into our final ring. Stay Naughty cannot make the climb back up to the rest of the lobby. It's gonna be alright. Doki Bird rejoining on the low ground.
You're gonna get the reset here, though, for Team Uris, playing off that low ground. You gotta make do with what you got for dropping down. Girl's gonna be able to get the extra loot she needs, because look at this. She's got the flatline, little to no heavy ammo, though. Doesn't look like she had the loot there, but with 4 squads left, you want to be able to capitalize. Zach Mazur's team get eliminated. Those are the winners of your previous game, and now we're down to our last squad.
Oh! And Timmy falls as well. Last 2 squads. Team Stay Naughty has almost no space, but it's Team Uris on the low ground who aren't taking much themselves. They've got these blue bins to work with, but a little bit of height and a rock really working for Team Stay Naughty. Girl steps a little too far forward and goes down, though. It's disastrous.
That's the green light! This is the green light right now! Coming in for Team Uris. They're looking to take the dub. He's got to be careful, but Aprizi is right there to give him the cover that they need. Playing off the lit, though, they're looking to get the rest. They cannot let this reset happen. Aprizi down, drops down, and Team Uris, they got to trust in the process. They take our final game of our quads throwdown.
Absolutely massive game from Team Uris, who off of the low ground were one of the teams that managed to not just survive in that end game, but get a res in that as well. Doki Bird, the Bangalore, was the one that dropped out of the sky, moving into the final circle to survive and then get the win.